The show hasn't even started yet, and I'm already reading slanderous comments about our Jalen Hurts, our starting quarterback of our Philadelphia Eagles. I don't even know. I don't even know what this show is going to look like. Like I titled it, "Why is there so much Jalen Hurts hate still?" Because I see people and their rankings online, and sometimes it just gets to me. So we're going to talk Jalen Hurts, Eagles OTAs. Start with media availability today. Phillies win again. Ranger Suarez wins again. And again, for the third day in a row, I'm going to ask you guys, Matvei Michkov, he might be with the Flyers this year. I'm throwing it out there. I get told I don't talk Flyers. I bring it up 3 days in a row. Nobody wants to talk about it. Trending in the AM, we're live with all your thoughts and opinions on anything you want to talk about in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome one, welcome all to Trending the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know the drill. Hit those like, share, retweet, follow, whatever buttons you want to hit to help spread the word of Trending the AM to get more people involved in Trending in the AM. Do whatever you can to get interactive with this show. Greatly appreciate it. It makes the show more entertaining, more fun when we've got everybody coming in the conversation. Tap on the shoulder at someone at Wawa today. Let them know. Trending in the AM, the number one morning show on YouTube daily right here in the Philadelphia area. I am your host every single morning, Phil Stiefel. You know where to find me every day on any social media platform. If I'm on it at Beard and Knowledge. You can find me there. And guys, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to talk about today. Because whenever I set the agenda for a morning show, especially in this time frame, it always goes off the rails. Always off the rails. And yesterday afternoon, I had no clue what the direction of today's show was going to go. Obviously, I knew there would be some Philadelphia Phillies talk. And Phillies, Ranger beat Ranger last night. Ranger beat the Rangers last night. 5-2, another dominating performance. I knew that whatever the outcome was going to be on the table today. I knew it. OTAs that media have availability to, which means us fans get to see stuff. I knew that was today, starting today. So I knew we were going to talk a little bit about Eagles OTAs, players we're keeping an eye on, things we want to hear. You don't get a lot of information from the coaches, but you get some. I knew that was going to be on the agenda. But then I see WWIP and their top 11 Philadelphia athletes. And I don't know what the criteria for this was. And the first thing I see is the first person on that WIP afternoon show put out there, Jalen Hurts as their 11th athlete in the city of Philadelphia right now. 11. And it just made me think, why must we continue to slander the name Jalen Hurts? As the title says, why is there always so much Jalen Hurts hate? Look, you could debate whether he's the fourth best quarterback, the sixth best quarterback, hell, the 10th best quarterback in the NFL. You do that if you want. But there is no denying at this point that he is a viable quarterback. He is much more than viable in the city of Philadelphia. He's a good dude. He's got talent. Does he have Super Bowl winning talent? We're going to find out. But the fact that we continuously and constantly see people in the media not being able to admit that they were wrong when projecting out Jalen Hurts and what he was capable of. The fact that we can't have a conversation about this. It's just straight bashing. And it becomes nauseating. And then I title the show this, and before we're even live, I've got comments like, elephant in the room. I disliked you. This isn't even you don't like his skill set. You just dislike him. Like, that makes no sense. Very average quarterback. I believe he's slightly better than very average. 4th in the NFL in turnovers. That was last year. And the year before, he had next to no turnovers. So, which one is it? Even I can admit that there's a conversation to be had on how elite he is or how good he is. But you can't say he's just terrible. And then this comment from Elephant. This is what I'm dealing with before the show. Not even when the show starts. He's a spoiled brat who this fan base holds to levels that we never held McNabb to. Like, I don't get this. Where does anybody think that that Jalen Hurts is a spoiled brat? And there's nobody more criticized than Jalen Hurts in this city or nationally. So I don't know. This is what I am dealing with early in the morning. You want Grumpy Phil or Rant Phil or whatever. Create a burner account and say crazy things in the comments before a show goes live. Before we even know where the conversation is supposed to go on this show, I got to see comments like that. And this is where we're at. This is where we're at in the conversation. What's up, Adam? Hurts will win us 3 to 4 Super Bowls. And that's bold. That's a bold statement. I can see him taking us to 3 in the next 5 years, but winning 3 or 4 in the next 5 years, that's tough, my man. That's tough. Unless you're the Chiefs or the Patriots, like unless you're Mahomes or Brady, you're not winning that many Super Bowls in that short a period of time. And I'm not putting even Hurts there. They better win 1 in the next 5 years. That's for damn sure. Always value when you tune in, my man. I thought about doing an ad read. I thought about reading Cherry's Law against the elephant in the room, hiring David Archerry to sue Elephant in the Room, but I just didn't feel like the timing was right. Brad, what is up, my man? Good morning. How about them Phillies yesterday night beating up Texas Rangers? And also your thoughts on Ranger Suarez with 10 strikeouts. Well, first off, and I'm sure other people have made this joke, but my first joke that comes to mind, Brad, on last night's Phillies game is, well, did we beat a good team? Because now that we beat the Rangers, they're below 500. So what did I see? Did I see something that Ranger Suarez is the first pitcher to be 9-0 or better and have a sub-1.5 ERA through their first 10 starts since they started tracking ERA in like the early 1900s? I keep waiting for the Ranger Suarez like bad game to happen. And he just keeps going out there mowing people down. And when I think of Ranger Suarez, I don't think of Ranger Suarez as a double-digit strikeout guy. But the fact that he dominated a very good Rangers offense, kept them off balance, bullpen was able to come in and do their job. Bryce Harper with a big home run last night. What was that? To get it to 3-1. Alec Bohm, another big night at the plate. I mean, everything's working well. Everything is going so perfectly. We now got a 6-game lead on the Bravies, the little Atlanta Bravies in the division. I mean, this Phillies team, I'm going to continue saying it until I'm proven wrong. 1993 dominance coming out of the gate. We keep telling ourselves the wheels are going to fall off, and they're just not. So I'm going to continue to look at this season in a very, very positive light. Eye-opening content. Well, I'm awake. My eyes are open, so that's good, I guess. CBA X expires in 20. What? I don't even know what that means. I'm a big Eagles fan too, little G. Good morning. Hope you are well. 2031. Who cares about when the CBA expires in like eight years? Do the Phillies' resiliency carry over to the postseason? See, I don't know, Marshawn, if this Phillies team is resilient. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think this Phillies team is that damn good. I think there's a difference between just being better than your opponent on a nightly basis and being okay, but being resilient to overcome the odds every night. If I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, the way I phrase that, but that's how I feel, Marshawn, that this Phillies team is not resilient. They're just dominant on all facets. So if they're behind, the game is not over. Not because they're resilient, because the opposing team can't get 27 outs before the Phillies take a lead. I really, truly believe, and I'm going to write this down because I think this is a great comment. Phillies are not resilient. Not. Quarterback rankings. We'll get into I'm going to release 3 more names, I think, on my top 32 quarterback list today. And I'm going to post them on Twitter as well. We're going to do 3 or 4 names a day until my list is revealed in its entirety. We gave away quarterback 1, 32, and then Joe got to choose quarterback number 11. So we'll see later in the show what I decide to do. Bring in Michkov. All 4 major sports will be relevant at the same time. Hell, bring in Michkov, Big Al. And let me tell you something. The Flyers might be in the relevance power rankings higher than the Sixers, depending on what their offseason looks like. I'm going to be like the Undertaker, popping up out of a casket with my Flyers fandom. I'm going to have my Flyers jersey on every day on this show. Michkov is somebody that's going to reinvigorate my love for the Flyers. And I can't wait. I'm all for it. I feel like a kid listening in the back of my dad's minivan. We were delivering newspapers on a Saturday morning, and they were talking about the big trade of Peter Forsberg for Eric Lindros. And I'm like, ooh, that might get me excited to watch some hockey as a young kid in Springfield, Ridley Park. I'm telling you, I feel that excitement all over again with this Flyers team. NFL International 1 game a year on schedule coming. Well, there's always been that for a while now. Was that a preview of where Hurts is in the quarterback ranking list? Did I get it? No. I didn't give nothing. I see what you're doing, and as I was saying it, I was thinking of it, Joe. I was thinking of it. When next Phillies game? Tonight, 6:40. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFL, and you will take the Eagles to the playoffs and then the Super Bowl. Well, Brad, best Super Bowl quarterback in the NFL, even I can agree that that's not true. The best quarterback in the NFL is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time in the history of the NFL already, in my opinion. I have concerns about Jalen because he's given us 1 astronomical season and 2, I wouldn't say bad. I would say mid-season. But I can say the same thing for everyone except for Mahomes. Exactly. Joe Burrow's had down years. Lamar Jackson's had down years. But see, the thing is, what you're saying, Marshawn, that you have concerns is not Jalen Hurts bashing, which is what a lot of media people do. You're willing to admit that you hear or see good in him, but you're also concerned about the bad. And even I'm willing to admit that he has to be better. But whoever on the WIP afternoon show had freaking Jalen Hurts as the 11th best athlete in Philadelphia, get the fuck out of here. No way. It's stupid. Stupid. Let Elephant in build his case. Well, he slid into the comments before the show, and he left right away. Tonight, Walker versus Andrew Heaney. I wrote down some information on that. This is Andrew Heaney is not the Rangers' best pitcher, so it should be no problem. Taijuan Walker, I'm still not confident in. I don't know. He's doing okay, not great, not bad. It should be a W. This series should be a sweep because then who do we got? Don't we got Nola or Wheeler in the matinee game? So the Phillies should theoretically sweep the Rangers. This will be a telling year. It will be. It absolutely will be. I want to be cool and confident like Ranger when I grow up. Dude, when Ranger Suarez fields ground balls back at him, he's just cool as a cucumber. Oh, what was Stuart Scott saying? Cool as the other side of the pillow. That's him. That is him. Huh. Interesting. My little tab says 0 people are watching on YouTube right now. But clearly there are people watching on YouTube as you're all commenting on YouTube. That was interesting. Just sitting there looking at things. I'm like, that does not look right. But anyway, I digress. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that like button and share button and subscribe button. Something is obviously up with the counter at the top of my screen. What is up, Mitchie Poo? Good morning. How are you? Because they won 18 games a year. Yeah. Phillies are the best team in Major League Baseball, without a doubt. No doubt about it. And that's because we were better than the Diamondbacks last year, but we lost because they're so much more resilient than us. And I get that. And that's a fair comment. Resiliency can win in the playoffs. The Phillies aren't resilient this year, though, that you have to worry about them not being able to do it later. They're just so deep and so talented. You look at last night's box score, only 4 guys on the team got hits, and they still put up 5 runs against a very good John Gray, who's been pitching really well this year. So when one person struggles, Bryson Stott, hottest hitter on the team, goes over, Bowman Harper and JT and Kyle Schwarber each get 2 hits. So where is Mays? Who? What? I don't know. What's up, Rick? Huge fan of Jalen Hurts, but he needs to take the next step of improving to a quarterback. That is the smartest player on the field. A player that dissects the defense better pre-snap and has the ball out lightning fast a la Drew Brees. Now, the second part, Rick, of this, the pre-snap and the getting the ball out quick, that's where Kellen Moore comes into play, hopefully. Okay? That's that part. And being a huge fan and knowing that he needs to take another step forward is okay to believe. But it's just the utter hate that you see from the media, locally and nationally. They don't think he could take a next step. They don't want to talk about what he needs to improve on. They just want to say he sucks. He's overrated. He's not good. If you say Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback, I hate to use the phrase that I hate using, but you don't know ball. He is a good quarterback. He could be a great quarterback. That is the problem. I'm a big fan of the Phillips. Me, again. And congratulations on that again. Mitchie Poo's new name is Comrade Michkov. Is it? I don't know about that. Who was others on Phil's quarterback list? We've only given out 3 so far. We will get to that. Maybe after some ad reads. Michkov has me wanting Prism back. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Big Al. Burrow a fraud. Well, you're a fraud. Michkov, quite possibly a franchise changer, a la Lindros, Forsberg. Like, I'm getting the Eric Lindros gets traded here, what was that, like 91 or something like that kind of vibes from this Michkov kid right now. Like, generational type talent. And I hope he can live up to the hype. I really do. I really do. Bot gang. Who's the bot gang? I'm putting the pom-poms down when looking at Jalen. To me, the difference in postseason production. Eli is a mid-quarterback in the regular season, but 2 Super Bowl runs was amazing. Yeah, I get that. And it's okay. If you want to say put the pom-poms down, I'm even willing to have the conversations with you. It's the general just straight hate that bothers me. And it does get under my skin sometimes. Phillies hitting is so much better than last year. Still a small sample size, but they don't play the long ball as much as previous years. Absolutely. Hell, even Kyle Schwarber's hitting over 220 right now. They're actually getting base hits. Was it last night or was it the game before? I saw Kyle Schwarber get an RBI single. How often does Kyle Schwarber get RBI singles? Like, really? I mean, that's something right there. Back when I took K1 Teddy Ruxpin and dropped him in the DDT. What? Who the Patriots quarterback? What he ranked? The Patriots quarterback, I believe, is Jacoby Brissett. Well, with Drake May as the rookie in the wings. Okay, just so you know. Yeah, as long as you're not a crumble cookie. Cherry says Jalen is entitled to compensation. He should be. Phil will be keeping us glued to our seats for clicks. There's some scam thing there, so we're just going to pass over that. So were Brady and Mahomes defined by their offense coordinator? No. But here in Homerland, apparently our so-called great players are defined by their coordinators. Hold on. So that's a deep conversation. And I know you like to look at things differently. And I am not saying they're defined by their coordinators. I always say, basically what you're saying is exactly why I have massive criticism all the time on Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is given excuses. Justin Herbert is constantly held to this. He is an elite quarterback, Matty B. But yet he hasn't won a damn thing. But it's always, well, he's got a bad coach, a bad coordinator. His wide receiver is injured, this or that. Great quarterbacks elevate. Patrick Mahomes, who do you have? Rasheed Rice? Isaiah Pacheco, or however you say his name. I get that. And I'm not blaming Brian Johnson solely for Jalen Hurts' if you want to use the word, regression from last year from 22. But I'm also not willing to ignore what I saw in 22 in judging who I feel Jalen Hurts is, which is a very, very good quarterback in an NFL that has a lot of good quarterback play. There's no doubt that Mahomes is one. I think you can rank 2 through 8 and put them in any order, and there would be an argument to be made that you're right. That's all I'm saying. I hate blaming solely the coach for a team's failure. Coaches can only do so much. The players still have to execute. I'd like to issue a complaint to Big Boss Man. I'll go for it. There's a complaint box on his wall at his thing, and everybody just stuffs things in there about him. Did someone say, Eric? Good morning. What is up, my man? As soon as you say hate, Matty B comes through with a comment. I know. I love it. I love it. Everybody saying hello to Eric. At least Matty B isn't hating on Howie. Who besmirched the name of Teddy Rockspin? I know who Teddy Rockspin is. Let the content be your guide. That's right. Where do you rank Kirk Cousins? That will tell me what I need to know about your list. All right, so we'll let Big Al. So I'm going to let Big Al pick one name. He's picking Kirk Cousins. Then I'm going to let Marshawn pick a number on my list, okay, to release on my list. And then I'm going to wait till the end of the show for list number 3. So Kirk Cousins, Big Al, is number 21 on my 32 quarterback list. Kirk Cousins, number 21. That's just what I'm going to say. Marshawn gets to pick a number. We've already now know Mahomes is 1. Jordan Love is 3. Kirk Cousins is 21. And Bryce Young is 32. That is what we know on the list now. I'm gonna appease Big Al with that one there. I mean, as much as you say Mahomes is great, you also say Andy Reid is the best offensive mind. Travis Kelce is the best tight end. I mean, it's a complete team game. It is. Team effort. Coaches matter. Players matter. It all matters. But a great quarterback elevates everybody around them. Obviously, Mahomes does that better than anybody else right now. Just got here, too, and soaking in the Jalen coat. I don't think it's Jalen coat. When's 2017? Hurts 2022. Enough said. You could say McNabb, 04, I guess. You know, you could say that about a lot of players across the board. There were other quarterbacks in other cities that had one great year. You just got to hope. You just got to trust that Hurts mentally is strong enough. Wentz's problem was mental and injuries, physical. Hurts has got the physical question marks. He does get banged up, but he's got to be mentally stronger. I still to this day say that Carson Wentz's career might have been salvageable here in Philadelphia if it wasn't for the last concussion. Something about that concussion at the end of the 2019 season. He was already questionable in the locker room. he was already questionable as a leader, but he was a talented quarterback. And the knee injury can be overcome and stuff like that. That concussion he took from Jadeveon Clowney, I think really, really changed his perception on the game and changed his mental capacity. I really think that really was the root of some of 2020's problems that caused the downfall that gave Jalen Hurts that chance to take over. I really, truly do. I really would like to go back in time and do a what if happens if and when Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz doesn't take that concussion. Maybe I'm off base on that. I'm not a specialist on brain injuries, but I know what I've read about how he was after that injury. I like to think that has something to do with it. Glad to hop in last night. Jason's shirt was fire. That's right. Yes, if you guys missed Fairway to Heaven last night, talking the Charles Schwab Challenge, but also recapping the events of the PGA Championship, my man Jason already had a shirt on the show with a picture of Scotty Scheffler's mugshot and hashtag Free Scotty on it. That was kind of clutch. Kind of clutch there, Joe. Hurts, who played Mahomes in the Super Bowl, that is our quarterback. Yeah, I hope so. Cousins is the Ricky Fowler of quarterbacks. That's actually not the worst comparison of a quarterback to a golfer I've ever heard. Not at all. I had Cousins at 24. What did I say I got him at? 21, yeah. I don't have it memorized yet. Jordan Love is 3. No, he's 11. He's one of the original 3 I announced. Now I can my head around the list. I'm sorry. Now I can my head around the list. Edit a grammar police incoming here. Yeah, this list is something here. Some of it's going to piss some people off. Some of it's going to make people laugh. And rumored Hurts at 6. No. He's not rumored to be at 6. And Goff was higher than Love. Goff is higher than Love. Yes, he is. We'll get that. So Marshawn wants number 5. So Big Al got to choose a name, Kirk Cousins. What if Marshawn would have chosen a number before I released Kirk Cousins and it turned out to be somebody already? So Marshawn wants number 5. I will release one more name later in the show. Number 5 on my list. So again, Patrick Mahomes 1, Bryce Young 32. Okay. Jordan Love 11, Kirk Cousins 21. The number 5 quarterback. And again, my quarterback list is who I want to be my quarterback in 2024. Not big picture, just in 2024. Okay. Number 5 on my list. Drum roll, please. 1, C.J. Stroud. That's right. I'm buying the C.J. Stroud hype. I am. Add Stephon Diggs to that team. They've had a great offseason. Houston Texans are going to win that division easily this year. Watch out. The C.J. Stroud party might overtake the Jalen Hurts hype trade. Jordan Love over Stroud already? No. Nobody ever said Love was 3. Nobody. The cope is strong with this one. The hope is the new cope. All right, guys, real quick. Got to shout out my good friends, man. My good friends at cherrytickets.com. Great moments don't just happen. They happen with you in the crowd. Cherrytickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less, play more. Cherrytickets.com. Save even more by using our exclusive promo code EOP10. That is EOP10. And share an experience that will live on in your memories forever. No hidden fees. Save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller? If you need a more personal touch, call them directly. 610-494-5050. Again, 610-494-5050. Or go to sherrytickets.com. Just make sure you let them know. EOP and trending in the AM is where you heard about cherrytickets.com. And back to the massive amount of comments I got to catch up on. Stroud 10, top 10, Love in 20. Well, Love is in my top 20s because he's 11. Stroud's in my top 10 because he's 5. All right, we're going to put the list back here for a little bit, okay? We'll come back to it and release one more name on my list before the show is over. That will put me at 6 names released in 2 days. Get your tickets ready. That's right. Point I was trying to make is you can't fully blame Jalen. I have concerns about his decision-making, reading blitzes, and Superman complex. I have no idea what that offense was last year. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. I do. And I agree with some of it. Sorry. See, you don't have to listen to the dial in the car. You can listen to Trending in the AM in the car and comment. I don't agree with texting and driving and commenting and driving, but you can listen. You don't have to listen to the dopes at WWIP. You don't. My wife asked me why. She doesn't listen at all, but she questions me why I call it WIP. Do you guys know why I say it like that? WIP. You guys know why I say it that way? Fudge. It's the second time I've hit my microphone and I get a little feedback. That's no good. We need a drum roll effect. We do need a drum roll effect. Dr. Phil. Jalen has to so much better with the football. Fumbles, picks, safeties. Yeah. He turned the ball over a lot in 2023. He didn't turn the ball over hardly at all in 2022, though. Excuse me. So that's where there has to be some middle ground at a minimum with this guy. He might not be that good as 22, but he might not be as bad as 23. Bold prediction, not really. Birds 8, 9, and 24. And hopefully I and the rest of Eagles Nation will finally be free of the tyrannical rule of Howie and his little coach. Matty B, do you really believe that there's enough lack of talent on this Eagles team that they're going to be 8-9? I really got to know. Like, I know you're a Howie hater, and I was at one point. He has won me over in the last couple of years. He has evolved my opinion on him by having what I feel are very successful last half a decade. But I don't think, like, you don't want to predict 12 or 13 wins and a Super Bowl run, that's fine. But I'm not sure how you could predict this team with this schedule, the way it's laid out, to be anything less than 10 wins. I really don't think you can, and say that realistically. 8 out of 10. I thought I nailed that. Joe. Whoa. That is high five. I had him 8 to 10 range. Yeah, I'm buying the CJ Stroud hype, man. I'm getting in on the CJ. Again, some of these names might be a little controversial where I got them. Some would say Kirk Cousins at what did I say? 21? I keep forgetting. Kirk Cousins at 21 would be a little controversial. Some would say that. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't got to impress everybody. Just myself. That's all. I just got to be able to live with it on my own. That's all I got to worry about. Not worried about what anybody else thinks of my list. Just so you know. But guys, what could Phil do to improve the Sherry read? Yeah, that was a perfect Sherry read. We need to do a power rankings on Phil's ad reads. Well, we know which one will win there. Phil could tighten the cadence on those reads. Stop. WNBC. Yes. My WWWIP comes from the way that Howard Stern used to say the NBC. At least that's what he did in the movie. You know, what was it called? Private Parts. NBC. WIP. Mocking basically the channel. I always listen in the car. I appreciate that, Eric. Playoff. Oh no, that would be WCW. So that'd be WIP. The wrestling down south. That's how you got to throw the southern accent. Matty B humbled himself to come into Phil's chat. Matty B is the man. I love Matty B. He's a hard worker for EOP, doing his show, doing post-game shows, writing articles left and right about prospects. Matty B might hate Howie Roseman, and he might think this show is a little cute show, but Matty B's a hard worker. Yeah, I got to warm up. I got to ease into to David Archeri. Get Matty B. Hey, Matty B has access to the StreamYard. Anybody on EOP can just randomly pop in at a moment's notice, technically speaking. Playoffs round 1, Norman Smiley versus Glacier. The Big Wiggly. Norman Smiley. Love Norman Smiley. Matty B with some positive outlook on the Birds. No shocker there. Fred, I know. Hey, you get what you get with Matty B, right? It is what it is. It is. I've grown accustomed to the Matty B hype train. I have. Raven versus, don't put me. Raven versus Disco Inferno. Man, even flow DDT. Ravens flock. Whatever. I would say the WCW Ravens flock was pretty fun. There was a little bit of a Ravens flock-esque stable in TNA. Once CM Punk was a part of it, okay? Just going to throw that out there. But then the Raven from ECW when he crucified whatchamacallit, and that caused a major controversy. And then Raven had to come out and apologize to the crowd. And Raven was somebody. Disco Inferno, only thing I could say about Disco Inferno, he used the Stone Cold Stunner. You know who else is a hard worker? Yeah. Eh, nope. The Big Wiggle versus the Finger Poke of Doom. I don't know what's better. What is up, Bruce? I feel Jalen Hurts haters could be mostly racist, as Wentz didn't have this much hate and was as bad. Bruce, look, racism exists. Racism towards athletes or celebrities, it happens towards people. It's there. I don't like to get into the racist conversation too much, mainly just because it makes me feel uncomfortable. But yeah, I think that could play into some people's hate for sure. And I'm surprised no one has said that yet in the first 36 minutes. There is, at least nationally, it's part racism, more part probably, failure to admit that they were wrong. Egos of these people. That's really what it comes down to, in my opinion, is the egos. But that's me. Guys, PhillySportsTrips.com. If you want to go to Brazil to see our Eagles face the Green Bay Packers week 1, well, go check out our friends over at PhillySportsTrips.com. They have a full and premium travel packages and tailgating experience to see your favorite Philly team take on their opponents on the road. Week trips like this to São Paulo, Brazil, August 30th to September 8th. I've seen the pictures on their website, the places that they're taking, the hotel, all of it. Fantastic. It'd be an adventure of a lifetime. Not in my budget, but, if it's in your budget, check them out. And make sure when you sign up at PhillySportsTrips.com, you let them know EOP, trending in the AM, sent you. If you don't want to go to Brazil, they got a short little trip this summer up to Boston, Fenway. They got a day trip to Baltimore, Camden Yards to see our Phillies. A 4th of July weekend trip out to Chicago to see the Phillies at Wrigley Field. PhillySportsTrips.com. Let them know EOP and trending in the AM sent you. Back to the comments. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Kidman overrated. What? Billy Kidman, best shooting star press there is in the world. And he bagged Torrey Wilson. So you know what? Kidman is a winner in my book. Raven was a great gimmick. Did you ever see Raven before he was Raven? Looked like a cross between a carnival worker and Gambit from the X-Men. Basically. Go look up Raven's gimmick before he was Raven. It was interesting. It was curious. Nobody outworks. Yeah, exactly. You guys give that guy so much free press on this show. If you think Hurts stinks 1 year after Super Bowl, you need to pump the brakes. This might be the most realistic comment. Did TMZ forget he's a troll and say something positive or say something normal? You don't go from playing and carrying a team to the Super Bowl to just being a bum or a stink in 1 year. You just don't. Phil, I understand it's an uncomfortable topic, but I feel it got to be addressed as it is real, and I feel it's very unfair to Jalen Hurts and all black players, so it would be good to get support. I again, and I am not shy from having the uncomfortable conversations on this show. I try to keep it lighthearted. I try to keep it fun. We have dabbled in the serious conversations here before, Bruce. And I don't think that you are wrong. I don't know if it's the main issue on the Jalen Hurts hate. I think it's part of it, for sure. When you see guys like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert and other quarterbacks that have done half of what Jalen Hurts has done get ranked higher constantly. When it's like that, you know there's got to be something to it. I think on the if you want to do a power rankings on why, it would be that the racism isn't part of it would be below, in my opinion, the failing to want to admit that they were wrong. If X reporter said he stinks, he was great, just admit you're wrong. That's what I do on this show. Every day I admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong coming on here to begin with. I think the racism might be the next reason on the list, Bruce. But I definitely think that there is something to that, for sure. Nobody. That's right. Birds go 12-5. Brian checking in on YouTube today versus Facebook. Again, check out Brian. Just Google search Brian's name in your Amazon tab. When you go to Amazon, type in Brian O'Rourke. All the books he's published will come right up. Support my man. Buy a book. Read a book. Why not? W for yeah. I mean, he got Torrey Wilson to go home with him. Billy Kidman was okay in my book. That's how Billy Kidman got Torrey Wilson. I'll never know. Yeah, Brazil. Sick boy in WCW. Jalen will ball out this year. Big Sarge. Yeah. Let's also, I mean, again, not making excuses for Jalen Hurts' 2023. There's injuries. There's coordinator and coaching issues. There was also, I think, one of the most underappreciated topics of 2023 after 2023 ended. All we talked about during the season was how tough the schedule was. After the season, forget how tough the schedule was and just let's make, Jalen Hurts sucks comments. The fact that he had to play Dallas, 49ers, Buffalo, San Francisco, Kansas City, like 6 weeks in a row of Super Bowl contending teams. And he went 3-3 in that stretch. Kind of a little bit of a juggernaut of a schedule. And nobody was going to come out of that, fresh and ready to go for the playoffs. Phil, thank you. And I feel you're a good man and also I appreciate that, Bruce. Look, I have no problem talking the tough subjects, especially when I know they're coming and I can be prepped for them. I do think racism plays a part in a lot of people's opinions in sports in general. Straight up. People make their opinions on athletes or celebrities based on race. Absolutely. Is it an issue? Without a shadow of a doubt. Racism, period, is a problem in our country still, which it is May 22nd, 2024, and it's still a problem, which is ridiculous, Bruce. Ridiculous beyond belief that it's a problem still in this day and age. But it's the world we live in. Hate is not getting better. Hate is growing. It is. Phil is. Matty V, why you dislike Howie so much? What did he do? Or better yet, what did he not do? I know. He really, so everybody was on the hashtag fire Howie bandwagon in 2018, 2019, whatever. Matty V just never got off of it. Give it up on Simmons. If Howie wanted him, then he would have been here by now. Let the young guys play. Justin Simmons, there's still a lot of people that want Justin Simmons on the Eagles. And I'm okay if they would bring him in. I'm okay with it. I think there's still a lack because of Sidney Brown being out probably till November, a lack of depth at safety. Unless you are going to cross-train some of you've got like 9 or 10 cornerbacks that could make the roster, unless you cross-train someone like Avonte Maddox or Ricks or Ringo to be a depth safety piece, Cooper DeJean or something like that, then you can bring in Simmons if you're not cross-training any of those guys, for sure. But, I think we're set with our starters in Reed Blankenship and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So Simmons would have to take that lesser role. And maybe that's why he hasn't signed here yet, because he doesn't want to take that lesser role. Maybe. I hate racism. Sorry. I was like, we all hate the rash, Eric, when it comes. Just so you know. It's called just wash after, Anyway, but racism, yes. Racism is very bad, and it upsets me every day. And I've talked about it when Eric might remember, Marshawn might remember. I did an incident, I'm not obviously not saying anything as I'm a white kid, I grew up in a white middle class neighborhood. Okay. I've never experienced racism before, except for about a year ago. I had a major racist incident happen at my pizza shop with a customer. And I told the story on here, and it literally made me shake telling the story because it was the first time I ever experienced it in person. And I had no idea how to handle it. So it's still bad, and it's still a big problem. Looked like a skinny young Bret Hart, for sure. Come on now, Matt. Stop. We're not saying that's the only reason why there's hate, but you can't deny the fact that some people probably do. Just going to say, you're wrong. Matty B, you're wrong. Flat wrong. Lack of motion and thought put into play design. Yep. Joe, Jalen's completion percentage increases. Deep ball shots decrease. Want to know why? Curl routes. Yeah. More curl routes. More curl routes. Anyone remember the Honky Tonk Man? Of course. Longest reigning intercontinental champion until Gunther, the ring general, took over. Of course I remember the Honky Tonk Man. Of course. You guys going to watch the new Mad Max with Red Thor? I've never seen any of the Mad Maxes. Won't lie there. Fun fact, Justin Simmons is the grand cousin of Richard Simmons. Damn. That guy? Are you sure? The grand cousin of Richard Simmons, the wrestler? Huh. You learn something new every day. Yeah, you never know. Guys, wherever you're watching, make sure you're hitting that like. And I don't know what's wrong with YouTube today. It says 0 people are watching on YouTube right now on my counter, which is obviously wrong. So make sure you're hitting that like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow button, because I'm going to need extra help on the algorithm today based off of obviously an error or an issue, whatever's going on YouTube right now. I did see someone else posting about it, earlier on Twitter, so before the show. So make sure you're doing that work for me there. I appreciate it. Matty B starting up the shit in Phil's chat. Hey, there's one in every crowd, K1, right? One in every crowd. I don't know what else to say there on that one. Gene Simmons or workout guru Richard Simmons. Well, Gene Simmons is the KISS guy, right? Richard Simmons, isn't he the APA Farouk guy? And then you've got, who was the workout guy? Was also Richard Simmons? I don't know. There's 3 famous Simmons there that I'm trying to think of. And Richard Simmons, Farouk, the APA, Gene Simmons, KISS, whatever he did. I don't know. I'm not a KISS fan. But yeah. Oh, that's Ron Simmons. I'm an idiot. Shit just flows out of my mouth. I don't know what I'm even saying. So there ain't no way that he's related to Richard Simmons, the workout guy, is he? That's weird. Or Russell Simmons? Who's that? I don't even know. Not the wrestler, the sweet into the 80s. He's related to, Richard Simmons. Richard, maybe never mind. I don't even want to get it. I'm lost on that. Dude, how did we never watch Mad Max in college? Road Warriors. Brian, what did we watch? We watched The Big Lebowski about 47,000 times. We watched Galaxy Quest about 47,000 times. And we watched The Replacement about 48,000 times. Why did we just watch the same 3 dumb movies over and over again and not anything else? Like, no wonder we had no life and never any girls in our apartment in college. No wonder our parties were always busts. Ron Simmons. I'm confusing the massive amount of Simmons that we're discussing in the chat. The Big Lebowski is a great movie. It really is super funny, TMZ. One of, if not the best movies that really, if you rank movies based off of how much they fail in movie theaters, then become big successes after, The Big Lebowski would be in the top 5. It was a bust in the box office. And then it became a cult favorite, and then it became a big hit 5 to 10 years later. The Simmons dynasty begins. I mean, there's literally a Simmons dynasty out there. Who knew? Who knew? I don't know what we're laughing at. If you're laughing at my college life with my buddy, how boring it was, or the fact that I don't know who Ron or Richard Simmons is, I don't even know what's funny now. What is Sequest? Not Sequest, Galaxy Quest. It is a really, really bad, stupid, but hilarious Tim Allen comedy. Basically about actors who played in like a Star Trek type TV show or Star Trek type TV show and their lives after the show was canceled. Hilarious movie. Hilarious Galaxy Quest. Yeah, well, that looks like your opinion, man. Dude, I even started drinking White Russians for a little bit. because I watched that movie so many times. The carpet in our dorm room, we didn't, the carpet was just nasty ass college dorm room carpet, but the couch, Brian will vouch that the couch tied the room together. And if Brian doesn't know this, that couch was still on Widener's property. I tracked the life of my couch for about 12 years. I knew where that couch still was post-college. It was still on campus, just so you know. Brian, I graduated in 02. So by 2014, I still knew where that couch was. I hope it spontaneously combusted by now because 14 years on a college campus, probably never washed or Lysol. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to know what that couch smells like now. That may actually be worse than Fan Max. Yeah. Simmons won 2024 NLL Rookie of the Year. Alex Simmons, that is. Okay, there we go. Muffler Mike. The National Lacrosse League. See, I knew what NLL stood for, just so you know. I don't know about you, but I take comfort in them words. Which ones? Which words? I need to know. Well, I'm lost now. As always, about this point in this show, shit just goes haywire. We never know. Dude, no lie, TMZ. That couch, gross. You guys want to hear a funny story? How I got my couch in college? Funny story. I actually stole it from a front porch in Chester, Pennsylvania. I went to Widener University. Me and my first roommate at the time. I moved in the second semester because I'd taken, long story, taking a semester off, whatever. Okay. So I move in second semester and I'm his new roommate. He's like, oh man, a couch would really, really hold this dorm room together. Like, all right. He's like, my friend, he lives just off campus. He's got an extra couch on his porch. And he said we can have it. We just got to go pick it up. It's not far. We'll just pick it up and we'll carry it back to campus. I'm like, all right. So we leave campus and we start walking down a side street in Chester. And if you know Widener, Widener's a little box. You step 1 foot off of campus, you're in the heart of Chester. And if you know, you know. So I'm like, oh, how much further down the road? He's like, one of these houses. I'm like, well, which house? And we're walking down this street, passing house after house. Thought it was this close thing. He's like, oh, look, there, that couch right there. That's my friend's couch. All right. So we go, we take the couch off the porch, we walk it back to the dorm. But now thinking back on it, I think that my friend, because backstory, he was very shady and got kicked out of college and broke back into my dorm room many times. Long story short, I don't think that we knew. I think he was just walking down a random street in Chester, hoping to find a couch unattended to on a porch of a house. And we found one. So yes, I stole that couch from a front porch in Chester, and then it lived on in Widener history for at least a dozen plus years. Matty V can't be the only one who can throw this show into complete chaos, yeah? Complete chaos. It's complete chaos every day. After my opening monologue, Muffler Mike, it's always complete chaos. You name the date and time, and I will bring the truth if you and your apostles can handle it. The core 12 is now the apostle 12. Hold on. Weren't there 12 apostles? Interesting. 12 disciples. Sorry. My religion is my Holy Cross training is apostles and disciples different. Never mind. Anyway, say what you will about Phil, but at least he has an ethos. Phil, the heel origin story. Is that what it is? Is that what it is, guys? Oh my God. Well, since I just told a crime live on the air that I stole a couch from a porch in Chester, maybe it's a perfect time to give David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm, a call. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, give David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm, a call. He fights for your rights and gets you what you deserve. He's a dedicated, well-established personal injury law firm built on the promise of aiding the seriously injured throughout the state of Pennsylvania. If you've been seriously injured or the negligence of another, call him 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Again, let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. And that number again, 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. and let him know that you heard about him right here on the ELP, right here at Trending in the AM. Just call him. Just call him today and be like, yo, I don't need a lawyer, but I heard you on Trending in the AM, your name, and I just want to match a voice with the face. Just do it. Just flood his phone calls. And now I get to star off a million comments that have cherry bombs in them. I don't even know if they're cherry bombs. They're just cherries. Yeah. What does that say? 555 cherry bomb. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. 555 is a fake number. Just let all the cherry stuff. Guys, you're watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Make sure you're hitting that like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow button. Do whatever you can to share this show out. Let's get the viewership. Let's get the content. You want more time with me? Then we got to get this show going in the right direction. More and more and more upward. And what, you guys hear that? That's like the third time I've touched my mic and I heard a little feedback in my ear. I don't know if that's coming through on your end. Maybe it's just loose. I'll work on that after today. But what are we talking about today on this show? I don't need a lawyer yet. Yeah. Can I just put you on retainer just for the time when I do, please? I'm sure at some point I'll say something stupid and need it. When is EOP getting Scotty to plug? Yeah, that's right. Scotty should be hiring. I made that joke on Friday. I made that joke on Monday. I probably made that joke on Tuesday as well. That Scotty Scheffler should be calling Cherry Law Firm. It basically was teed up on a platter for all of us to make that as our comment. But anyway, guys, you're watching Trend in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. Like, share, subscribe, retweet. We're going to get into the final 30 minutes here. But a quick recap of what we are talking about today. We are talking Eagles and Jalen Hurts hate and why it can't end. Why can't we have, me and Marshawn, we have fair conversations, not hateful conversations about people. Why is it so much hate? And it's always, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm smart, you're an idiot. Why can't there be more discussion versus just straight hate conversation? All right, that's topic one we are discussing today. Thoughts on it. All right. Part two of this show has been the Phillies continue to win. Beating up on the Rangers last night. Ranger Suarez getting his 9th win, lowering his ERA to 1.36 on the season with 10 strikeouts of a very good Rangers team. We are also talking about Matvei Michkov. Is he coming? Is it as exciting for the older Flyers fans as when we were waiting for the arrival of Eric Lindros? I really think that in my mind, this is how I felt when Lindros was coming to town. I mean, it was a long time ago, and I remember it, but I don't. I remember where I was when I heard the news. So, is this as exciting in Flyers time as the Eric Lindros arrival? Okay, so that's topic 3 on the agenda today. And topic 4 on the agenda is just making fun of everything I say. The fact that I don't know which Simmons is Ron Simmons, Richard Simmons, Gene Simmons, Bob Simmons, Bill Simmons. There's an actual real one. All on the agenda today. So whatever you want to talk about, we're going to cover. Also today, OTAs start back up again. Monday, we didn't get any information about Mondays. But today, there is full open participation or full viewing from the media, the entire OTA today. There will be pressers after OTAs today. I believe practice is at 12:45 today. So tomorrow we will be talking about what is heard, what is seen, what is talked about from today's OTA. Will we see anything interesting from the offense or the coordinators, the defensive coordinator? Will we see anything of intrigue? We'll get some pictures of much slimmer Jordan Davis probably today. You know, I see everybody talking about players to watch in OTAs, and I see a lot of people talking about Jordan Davis, and I don't think he should be one of the key players. The only reason why I have Jordan Davis on a players to watch is because I want to see more pictures of how slim he looks. That's it. I don't have as much concern over Jordan Davis, the player, as a lot of other players do, or a lot of other fans do. I think Jordan Davis is much better than, and been much better than people realize. I think a lot of people hate on him because of the simple, they want Kyle Hamilton now. Kyle Hamilton was there. We all wanted Kyle Hamilton. We passed on Kyle Hamilton. We see the success Kyle Hamilton has had. But do we realize that last year, even though everybody bangs on how bad Jordan Davis was, we realize that based off a snap percentage, not, based off of I know he doesn't play the snap percentage of some other guys, but with a minimum of a certain amount of snaps, Jordan Davis was 7th in win rate in run stopping last year. Run stop win rate, 7th in the NFL. That's what you want from your 350-pound nose tackle defensive tackle. Stopping the run and letting your edge guys get home to the quarterback. So sometimes analytical stats do matter. Jordan Davis was not a bad player. Jordan Davis is in better shape coming again. I'm not watching it other than to see pictures. I'm much more intrigued in watching Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steen. I'm much more concerned with watching Nakobe Dean and Devin White. I'm much more concerned to see what Cooper DeJean is capable of doing. Hell, I am more concerned with watching in OTAs what James Bradbury is going to bring to the table. Whether James Bradbury even shows up for all the OTAs. Because they're voluntary. And he knows the writing's on the wall that he might not be here. Those guys all are higher on my players to watch list than Jordan Davis. But I'm sure we will get lots of information and be able to talk about these guys tomorrow after we see and hear everything that went on. Can you recommend a good crime that I can get away with cheaply? Is that what you're calling David Archeri for? Gotcha. I don't recommend it, but whatever. Apostles versus disciples versus the core. The winner gets the 12. I love it, Eric. I love it. That's hilarious. Hilariously hilarious. Tomorrow on Simmons in the AM. Yeah. I'm going to have to do a deep dive on Simmons. And all the different Simmons that are out there. Like, really. If there wasn't a successful Broadway musical named Davis. What? Is there? What? I don't even understand that comment. Why is Davis not being compared to Vince Wilfork or Nagata? I think that's a fair question. I think he's. Well, let's rephrase this. I don't know. I think Vince Wilfork didn't put up flashy numbers. Nagata didn't put up flashy numbers. They just stopped the run. Jordan Davis is never going to be a flashy numbers guy. The problem with Jordan Davis is after his first year he wasn't in shape. Last year he came in shape, didn't maintain that shape. This year, the goal is he's in shape, is now to teach him to maintain the shape. That's what it is. That's all it is. Okay? Jordan Davis, when we drafted him, I thought of Vince Wilfork. That was the first thing I thought of. That kind of role. I could see with the way we drafted linemen that we were going to go to some form of a hybrid 3-4 offense. I think it's more of like a 5-2 offense because you got your two edge linebacker guys. You got you're going to see an offensive line configuration or defensive line configuration of Jordan Davis, Carter Milton Williams, Bryce Harper, and Josh Sweat all on the field at the same time. Some might drop back into coverage. Some might rush the quarterback. Some, like Jordan Davis, are going to clog the middle. That is how you're going to see an offensive line configuration at times this year because we run more of that 5-2. Some guys are listed as linebackers, but they're really just edge rushers that drop back into coverage. And Jordan Davis being in the middle of that, I would like to see Jordan Davis play 50% of the snaps this year. I think if you can get Jordan Davis from that, what was he last year? 43%, I think. If you can get him from 43% to 50%, I know it doesn't sound like much. It's probably like 5 more snaps a game. But what that means, if you can get him to that level, it means he's staying healthy and he's staying in shape, which means if you get him to stay in shape, he's going to be more effective. I think it's a win. And I'm not worried about it, Muffler Mike. Not one bit. That's why fans wanted Kyle Hamilton, you big oof. Why? What? I'm sorry. Why? Why did they want Kyle Hamilton? Kyle Hamilton was a great player. I wanted Kyle Hamilton. He was on my list. 1,000% was on my list. Problem is that the Eagles didn't take him. Now, there is another argument to be had. Would Kyle Hamilton here in Philly have had the success that he's had in Baltimore? And would Jordan Davis have gone to Baltimore, had more success or less? In a different system, in a different city, whatever it may be. We haven't had a lot of success with safeties, but some. I missed the joke. Sorry. Boom. Right over my head, my man. Right over the head. Mister, what is up, my man? Welcome to the show. The Church of Latter-day Saints invited me to their church. Have you ever seen a black Mormon? No. But my delivery driver tonight at 4 is, well, she's a retired Mormon, Claire. So I'll ask her if there's a such thing. I don't know. But I've never seen it. They got some interesting rules at their church, those Mormons. A lot of interesting rules. I've met a lot of them in my time. I've worked with and been friends with a few of them. Very interesting religion. That's all I'll say on that. Wolfork and Nagata have a lower center of gravity. Jordan Davis has trouble playing with leverage. Hopefully the new D-line coach can get him right. Yeah, when you're 16 feet tall and 350 pounds, yeah, it's hard to get that low center of gravity. And great defensive tackles, nose tackles, you have to get that low center of gravity, of course, mister. That's on coaching to improve. And it's the fact that he's only entering his third year. People acting like Jordan Davis is a 10-year veteran that we know what he is and who he is. Jordan Davis is still a young, growing football player. And the only reason why Jordan Davis gets any criticism in Philadelphia is because Kyle Hamilton is having success. That's it. Kyle Hamilton's success has directly correlated towards Eagles fans' opinions on Jordan Davis. Hindsight's 2020 all the time. It is. And yes, I wanted Jordan Davis, or I wanted Kyle Hamilton. But I also wasn't disappointed in the Jordan Davis pick. And I still see the massive value that Jordan Davis brings to the table. Here's a question for you. We know and love how Howie loves to jump the gun, so to speak, on giving extensions to his young players. We know Howie likes to sign guys before the market is set. So, first-round players, 5-year contract. You get the 5th-year rookie option, okay? He's going into year 3. The great players have that 5th-year option picked up after year 3, okay? After year 3, you can negotiate some form of an extension. Does Howie, is Jordan Davis shown enough that you're willing to already consider that 5th-year option for him? Picking it up, giving him his extension, whatever it may be. Is Jordan Davis a guy that has elicited that kind of confidence in you yet? And for me, I hope Howie Roseman jumps the gun, signs him to a lesser deal before he peaks or before the market's set. I hope, at the very least, they give him to the 5th-year option for sure. Because I still see massive value. I see a change in the winds in the NFL, where running between the tackles is going to become more and more a prevalent part of offenses, again, like it used to be. Which, if you're going to run in between the tackles more and more, you need strong, big, girthy guys that are going to clog up the running lanes. Jordan Davis does that. So Jordan Davis needs to be coached up a little bit more, but I also feel that Jordan Davis is extremely undervalued in this city. Davis is in classic O-Tech like Will Fork. Fangio will get him sorted out. Yeah. I got to bring up Fangio. You bring up Fangio's name, K1, and I didn't really read into it much, so I don't have bonus or a lot of details on this. but I think I read something yesterday. Well, no, I definitely read something a little bit yesterday on somebody in the Dolphins OTA when they were asked about their new coordinator who took over for Fangio. And there was some basic Vic Fangio bashing going on in Miami from the players. I'm not sure. I didn't read too much into it, but there was definitely coming out after the season concerns that Vic Fangio, his way of doing things wore thin after 1 year in Miami. There was conversation that he was too tough on his players in Miami. There was a lot of things that came out about his time in Miami. And more of it came in yesterday with whatever somebody said out of Miami Dolphins OTAs. Now, my question is, are you concerned? Like, we've put Vic Fangio, after hearing him talk, after getting excited, after everything we saw last year, we've put Vic Fangio. We put him up there in that elite category, okay? That he's going to turn this defense around fast, okay? We've got a young defense with minimal leaders left because of Fletcher Cox retiring on this defense. You got Brandon Graham, you got Darius Slade. They're your defensive leaders now. You lost a big one in Fletcher Cox. And a lot of fractured issues last year. Are we concerned at all about Fangio? Are we overconfident in Vic Fangio? And I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe we are slightly overconfident. Good value. What's good value? I haven't given you any value yet. Not yet. Not yet. I don't even know what's going on. I'm getting random spaces here. Maybe it's a comment that didn't show up that should have showed up. I got comments on this side that says, I'm not seeing guys. I think there's a YouTube issue right now because my counts are all over the place. Spaces on my StreamYard that shouldn't be there. I don't know what's going on. So if you guys are commenting, I'm not putting them up. I apologize. I think there is some YouTube back-end issues going on. I'm glad you guys are still watching. I'm glad you guys can still see me. But I think there's some YouTube issues going on. Even my side screen here is a little blurry. Yet Miami's D was balling out until injury set in. That is a very good point. So my question, definitely YouTube issues. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There definitely seems to be a YouTube issue going on. Like, I got this random space in between two comments on my screen here, which is called StreamYard. There's definitely something going on. Miami's defense was balling out. The whole team was balling out until the injuries set in last year, K1. Remember, they put up 70 points against Denver. What was that, week 6 or 7? So there's definitely something there. But, I mean, I do get concerned in this day and age. You've got a lot of young players. The defense is getting younger daily. It's almost why maybe a Justin Simmons would still be a good ad because he knows Fangio's way of doing business, and he's a veteran guy that can help this defense out, at least for camp. There is always that question about concern there. The Eagles are built to score a lot of points and win offensively, which with all the names they've assembled and paid for. Absolutely. They still need to have the defense do better than it did last year, Barbara. It's got to be a better defense than last year. And I think it will be. And I'm confident that it will be. The question is, does Vic Fangio, we're all hyped on Fangio. And are there any things that you're worried? We talked about fears yesterday. Are we fearful of Fangio at all? Is it the 3 dots like on a text thread? Yeah. Our players expect to be coached hard. No prima donna. I hope so. And that's what you're going to get from Vic Fangio, is coached hard. Sometimes that works. It's worked in some. It worked with the Flyers until it didn't. It works till it doesn't. It works till you start to fail. If you're coached hard and you start losing, the dominoes fall quickly. If you coached hard and you win because of it, everybody loves it. The egos of professional athletes can't take being coached hard, Eric, and then losing. Miami was super scary early last year. People were talking about Tua MVP. People were talking about Tua getting the biggest contract. Tua still hasn't gotten an extension from Miami. But in the first 6, 8 weeks of the year last year, everyone, wasn't Miami like 6-1 or something like that? I don't remember. They were really good. And then the wheels fell apart really quickly there. Does anybody question Mike McDaniels in Miami? Like the way that the Eagles fans question Nick Sirianni? I wonder if Miami fans questioning McDaniels like we question Sirianni in this city. I really wonder that. If Fangio can get the most out of Huff and Hunt, I don't care how he does. I think Bryce Huff is an interesting name to keep an eye on in camp, an interesting name to keep on early in the season. Because let's remember, Bryce Huff is coming with a lot of fanfare. He's got to replace fan favorite Hassan Reddick, okay? Biggest contract ever to an undrafted free agent that wasn't a quarterback, okay? The thing with Bryce Huff is that he only played like 45% of the snaps last year, double-digit sack guy. That was his 4th year in the NFL, the first time he ever had any relative success. And he still only played 40-some% of snaps. He is going to be expected to continue to have success and take about a 20 to 30% snap increase this year. Can he do it? That's a big question. Hassan Reddick played 75% of the snaps last year and throughout his 2 years in Philly. He's got to do it here, Bryce Huff. Can he do it? I don't know. I'm seriously not concerned, furious on Bryce Huff with a larger role, with more pressure. I mean, the Jets, you've got pressure, but when you're an unknown having success, there's no pressure on you. If Huff would have stayed and gotten the big deal extension he wanted in New York, there would have then been pressure. But there was no pressure on Huff last year. There's going to be major pressure on Bryce Huff this year. Tyreek Hill personally lost the game against the Eagles last season with all the drops. Tyreek Hill. All I can think of when I think of Tyreek Hill is not the cheetah, not the fastest man alive, not the elite wide receiver. All I think about with Tyreek Hill is the fact that he's got like 10 kids with 7 different baby mamas, and he just brags about it. It's a lot of child support. Jalen Hunt is intriguing to me as well, K1. I don't expect much, if anything, from him in year one. If Nolan Smith got as little reps as he did last year as a first-round pick, and I know he was hurt in camp and he was hurt to start the season, but if Nolan Smith had as little opportunity in year one as a first-round pick, project pick, third round or fourth round? Third round, right? Hunt is not going to be thrust into the rotation much at all. There's a chance Jalen Hunt is somebody's not even dressed on Sunday. He'll make the 53-man roster, but he might not be. He might be a inactive guy at first. No, I'm not expecting much, but he intrigues me big picture for sure. Devontae Parker retired after he saw Quinion Mitchell and Deshaun clamping down. Yeah, Father Time is undefeated. That's right. That's right. You would have think, mister, that he was like, oh, damn, I feel like I'm Randy Moss out here playing against James Bradbury every day. But no. He lined up against Quinion Mitchell, cue ball, like, oh, I can't do this anymore. These young cats, they got me. Time to call it quits. We really didn't stay too long on the conversation of wide receiver 3 yesterday with Devontae Parker. And I think after the show, and I thought about it more, I think I'm much more in tune and okay with Paris Campbell as our 3, Britton Covey as our 4. I did watch some more. Is it Aeneas Smith? Am I saying it right? Film. Brendan Deek put out a nice little highlight clip this morning, and I was watching it. The guy's got some skills. So they're your 5 guys. Maybe Johnny Wilson makes the team. Maybe they keep 6 wide receivers. I doubt it. It's not Howie's MO, 6 wide receivers. Howie keeps 5 wide receivers most years. We'll get into 53-man roster predictions and stuff like that as we get further along in the summer. Guys, final sponsor of the day. Legends Dolan's Bar. When you're staying local and you want to watch a great game or just hang out with some great people or get some great food and drinks, go to Nolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, in the 19078, right off I-95. 65 years Dolan has thrived because of one reason. The great patrons who they treat like family. Again, they got great music, great food, great times, memorabilia giveaways. You never know. A former Philly icon might walk through the door. Go to Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park. DolansBar.com on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Let PJ know you heard about Dolan's Bar right here from the source that grew up in Ridley Park, trending the AM Phil Stiefel. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Dolan's Bar right there. Final. That always gets a few extra comments because you got to throw the 3-leaf, 4-leaf clover up on the screen. But, guys, we're into the final 10 minutes here of the show today. Get your memorabilia. Yeah, you know, I'm not really much of a memorabilia person. I don't collect much. I got some cool signs, nickel and dime signs. You know, that's about it. I'm not really a collector. Thought I had my college diploma hung up behind me, but that's about it. Not much. I'm not really PJ, you're my boy. That's right. We gotta have a trending in the AM core Apostle 12. It's not the core 12, the Apostle 12 meet up down at Dolan's Bar one day. I got to get everybody. I got to get TMZ in from Buffalo, Eric in from Chicago. I got to get everybody in one weekend. We're going to go to Dolan's Bar. And then the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar as well. Got to get them everywhere. Got to get you all together. On the edge of my seat for this last name number, I know I'm sitting here thinking, I'm stalling, thinking, which number or name, okay, I've given you now on this list. Oh, I like this. The disciple dozen. We'll play off the dirty dozen right there. I like it. Are you guys my disciples or my apostles? Or my core? I don't know. My core is not very strong. Yeah, I was patting my belly right there. I've given you, Joe, on my list. I've given you 1. I've given you 11. 1, Mahomes. 11, Love. 32, Bryce Young. Then I threw number 5, C.J. Stroud in there. And then I threw number 21, Kirk Cousins in there. I want to give you guys a controversial maybe one on my list. I'm just gonna jump the gun. So I've given you 1, 5, 11, 21, and 32. Yeah, 21 and 32. Yeah. All right, so they're the 5. 1, 5, 11, 21, 32. They're the 5 I've given you. I am going to give you number 14 on my list today. Okay? Number 14 on my list. Top 32 starting quarterbacks entering the 2024 season. The confidence meter, just for 1 year, not building a team, big picture. Number 14. I let Big Al pick a name. He went Kirk Cousins. And this is what we're going to do tomorrow, too. I'm going to let one commenter pick a name and find out where they are. I'm going to pick another commenter to pick a number. And then I'm going to give one off my list that I want to mention. Okay? I want to give you guys number 14 on my top 32 quarterback list. Okay? Number 14 is, drum roll please, Trevor Lawrence, starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Some would say I've got him ranked far too low. If you listen to the pundits that hate on Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence is a top 6 or 7 quarterback in the NFL. I disagree. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he is a good quarterback, but I think he is extremely overhyped. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are extremely overhyped. They're a good team. They're not a great team. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. Number 14 in the league. That means I have put Jordan Love ahead of him. That means I've put C.J. Stroud ahead of him. Probably means Jalen Hurts is ahead of him too. But that also leaves a lot of high-quality names that I'm going to put, or lesser names that some would say, I'm going to put ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Too high or too low in the final 5 minutes on Trevor Lawrence at number 14 on the list. Yeah, it's the Powerball number of the day. The Motley 12. We got to change the name of the core 12 to the Apostle 12, guys. We got to. We got to. We got to. If I have time today, I might even make a graphic for the Apostle 12. All right, so now you've got 6 names on my list. Patrick Mahomes 1, C.J. Stroud 5, Jordan Love 11, Trevor Lawrence 14, Kirk Cousins 21, and Bryce Young number 32 on my list. That's where we're at with the quarterback list. I'm okay with that ranking. See, all right. So you like 14 for Trevor Lawrence. That's good. So this list includes rookies and potential quarterback battles. So, like, I have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields hyphenated there. I've got, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell hyphenated there. I've got Jacoby Brissett, Drake May hyphenated there on my list. So, yes, there is some of that mixed into it for sure, Joe. But, yeah, too low. Nope. What's Trevor Lawrence on? He did lead a 30-point comeback 2 years ago in the playoffs against Justin Herbert. He did. But outside of that, what has Trevor Lawrence ever done? Has he ever elevated anybody on that team? Great quarterbacks elevate players. He don't. But, yeah, the Jaguars are no bueno. I agree with that 1,000%. Doug Peterson, love the guy. Be a legend here. If you came into my pizza shop, free pizza. No problem. Actually, no, I'd make Doug Peterson pay full price. I can't wait to see where you got Mr. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is one of those names. I've got multiple crisscrosses. I've put him up and down. You guys know I was not high on Caleb Williams. But let me tell you something. I've got 6 quarterbacks. I've got him ranked above 6 quarterbacks that have started NFL games before. Okay? At least. And that doesn't count other rookies and stuff like that. I'm surprised at how high I put Caleb Williams on this list. Maybe we'll mention him tomorrow. I don't know. No, nobody besmirches Doug Peterson. Nobody. $500 super chat. Links to my tip jars are below. Venmo, PayPal. I greatly accept the tips. Got to make money if you're ever going to want me to do 2 hours, guys. I love the visor, but that's organization. Yeah. Guys, we got to start the wrap up. I do have a crap ton of pizzas to make this morning. Stay tuned. More tomorrow. Make sure you catch yesterday's Fairway to Heaven replay on this channel. Great content from Jason and I and our special guest, Steve, from the Attacking Third Union podcast here on ELP, was with us. We talked Xander. We talked Bryson. We talked Scotty. We talked the Charles Schwab Challenge, best bets, everything. Check it all out on replay. To the replay gang, if you're watching this on replay, hit that like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow button wherever you're watching. I do try to go back, catch every comment on the replay, and respond. So make sure you guys leave those comments. But make sure you tune in live. Tomorrow, we will be recapping day 1 of OTAs with media reporting coming from it. Whatever we learned today, we will be talking about it and the Eagles. More on who to keep an eye on in these OTAs. Phillies, Rangers, game 2 of this series. Whatever. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about how Boston almost lost to the Pacers in game 1 last night. I wanted to bring it up, never got to it. But maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe that'll be on the agenda tomorrow as well. But we got lots going on, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you're locked in. 7-day-a-week program right here on Edge of Philly. 12 o'clock today on the Shane Page, Shane Half and Jimmy Page. Philly Sports Press Box Radio later tonight. Sure, they've got a great guest as always. Edgy Philly Sports Live and the Fighting Finals later today. 5 great shows, always on Edge of Philly. 27 shows this week. Stay locked in, guys. For Edge of Philly Sports, I am Phil Stiefel. With that being said, you all have a great day. And go Birds, ring that damn bell.